And of course the bidding wars.
Yes, there is also bidding indeed. So when you start bidding, that's a very different process. I wasn't used to be honest. When I want to buy a house in my own country in Turkey, there was never bidding. So you just get it, and then if you get agreed, and then you go to notary and you just buy the house. But here, you're amongst many people, so bidding is involved. So bidding is usually, it's not very transparent. If you do it like so, the agent asks you how much you are willing to pay, right? And it collects this information from all the potential buyers, and then makes a list from the higher bidder to the lower, and then present this to the seller of the house, and then seller can decide. At that moment, seller can say that the maximum bid is not what he expected, so he can just withdraw selling the house, or he can ask whether to the agent whether it's possible to get higher bidder. Then agent can communicate this with the buyers, bidder buyers, and call them and saying that this is the situation, are you willing to pay more, and so on. So there is always a communication between it. But when I was, I also bid a couple of houses which I didn't buy at the end. The thing is a bit, just because it's not transparent, I understand the reason it's not being transparent either, because you have to split between the buyers and the seller. But on the other hand, as a buyer, you don't feel very trustworthy this process, because, for instance, when I wanted to buy a house, I overbid it, like 5,000 or something extra. I overbid it, not too much, but the house was already expensive, so I overbid it just to make sure that I don't do ping ponging, so I can buy the house. Then so next day or something, agent called me and said that okay, there is another buyer who exceeded my bid, so they asked me whether I am willing to go over it. Then at that moment I was I asked myself, okay, but where are we going to stop? So if I overbid, then they will call the other buyer, and the other buyer will overbid again, so it becomes like an auction. And then I started asking myself whether it's worth to keep extra paying for
how
this.
much do you want this house actually?
Indeed. So, and you don't know even if there is another buyer who is exceeding your, because that can also be, I'm not trying to say that they are lying or something, but you don't know as a buyer.
Yeah, but we're coming from countries with little trust. So when something like that happens, the first question is, are they screwing us?
Yes, indeed.
Because Dutch people are quite trustworthy. They are very law-abiding, so it is something that they also feel obligated. If indeed that was happening, I'm going to be... So that's that. But indeed, because we come from the countries that trust is non-existent, so this is the first go. When we were selling the house, actually we didn't go with the highest bid.
Okay.
We had one bid that was 55,000 less, but the makelar gave us, it was a young couple that wrote us a letter, talking about their journey and about their life, and they were saying, well, we really want the house because we're planning to build a life, and because the house needed some renovation still, and we were aware of that. And we were looking at it, and we had a different bid. It was 5,000 more. But the letter moved us so much, and we said, you know what, we'll just go with that one. We're just gonna do So we sold the house not to the highest bidder, but actually we got it was just this personal touch that really moved us.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a great story, and maybe that should encourage people as well. if they are willing to add some personal touch like this, it can affect the seller's decision.
Yeah. It affected our decision.
Okay.
Yeah. It was just really sweet letter, because sometimes it's nice to think that you're leaving something behind for something beautiful that's gonna happen in the house. And we knew the neighbors, so it will be nice, this young family coming in and building their life, and so it really warmed our hearts.
Great. Okay. Nice story. Actually, that makes sense, because as a seller, you have all the rights to choose who want to sell. So, because also, it's indeed, as you said, it's not always the highest bidder, because there are too many other reasons why seller wants to sell the house to a specific person, because some people use 100% of the house price for the mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
And some other people says that I'm gonna just use 30% or something. So the financial independence are also important. It may be important for the seller because when someone is going to use 100%, that means they're going to ask the first, because they have to first get the contract, then they can ask for the mortgage, and then bank can always reject their request for many reasons. So there is a risk that the seller may not sell the house, so they can also go with the other options, even if it is lower bid, but the financial security is too high, so they can go with the other option. So these are all affecting the seller's decision, which is understandable, because in many cases sellers are also, they are selling their house to buy a different maybe house, to go a bigger house or a different city, or do a different investment. So that makes sense that they need a financial security. So this bidding process is really, as I said, is different than comparing to other countries. So people need to get used to.
And you always should overbid. I think right now the markets are like that. You need to give at least like 5-7% more of the asking price, and don't even think about doing less than that, because you probably not going to have chance unless the house is, I don't know, maybe in some remote areas, but in the central parts of Netherlands, this is how it goes. Very competitive. It
is indeed. So it's sad, but it is the reality. So overbidding became new normal. So people are overbidding always. So it's the question now, how much you overbid to get the house, because I was talking other day to one of my friends. They were trying to buy a house as well, and they overbid more than 10%, and they still didn't get the house. So
you never know.
You never know, indeed. But recently, government made some changes. We were talking just before the episode as well. So this bidding is now stored somewhere. So each agent has to keep this bidding stored. All the bids to the house has to be logged somewhere. And the seller, of course, can always see the biddings.
Of course.
That's fine. But also they made it transparent in that way, so that when the buyer is selected to buy the house by the seller, they can later on ask the agent to see all the bids that has been going through this bidding. Of course, because of the personal informations, they are anonymized before giving to these people. Otherwise, it's a personal information, of course. But agents are responsible of keeping this anonymizing and then providing this information. So again, you can ask questions like, okay, but this is anonymized. How can I know whether this is truth or something? Of course, these are the questions you can always ask. But they have to provide this information by law. So in case they make some fraud or something, there is a high restrictions because of this and punishment. So
and is there anything else they can do about it?
Only thing is that if the buyer suspects that the bidding doesn't really make sense, or is it not matching with what they heard, when there is a cooling off period. It's like when you sign the contract, it's like 30 days or something. I'm not sure.
And then, so basically, what you're saying is that I made an offer. My offer was accepted. Then I say, okay, I have now this period of 30 months, so I'm go to the makelar, and I say, I want to see all the bids. And he showed me all the bids. And if I see that my bid is actually far off of the other bid, but the question is, I mean, if I from my own validity come and ask and say, if the house costs 300, and I come straight away and say, I'll give it 315.
And
everybody else bid 302, 305. And nobody made me to offer this. Do I have anything to do about it?
You can still cool off. So you can still whatever.
Because the other offers that you received were like no more than 305. So this is what I'm going to give you now.
So you can say that, but later on, so you can check the biddings and you can see that you are overpaying. You can decide to not continue with the buying process, or for any other reasons. When you sign the contract, there is a cooling period, and during this period, you have always cancel the buying process without any.
But then you have to pay 10%.
No, if you go above the cooling period, if you don't give up during the cooling period, then you have to pay a certain amount of money.
Ah, so it's only after cooling period.
Yes, indeed.
Because I heard the minute you commit to buy a house, and then if you change your mind, you need to pay
Yes.
a 10%
Yes,
of the
indeed.
value of the
value.
house.
Yeah, that's after the cooling off period.
Oh, okay. So it's only after cooling
Yes.
period. Yeah.
So there is still some time that you can make up your mind.
Yeah.
But then afterwards, it's too late. Then you have to pay it.
You know, another thing that I came across here, and I don't know if you know about it, but when we sold the house, and the profit that we made was not a big profit. From we covered the old mortgage to get a new mortgage, and so we did have. But actually, the law here says that money that you got as a profit, and maybe I'm saying it incorrect, but you cannot spend it on anything else. You need to reinvest it into the house.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
So that means if you need to do, let's say the house, you sold the house for 250,
Yeah.
and you have like 50,000 profit. So that 50,000 you need to invest it back into the new house. Otherwise, there's going to be some kind of tax. I don't know what, because I said to my husband, I said, "Oh, great, maybe we can go for vacation." He's Dutch. So he said, "No, we cannot, because we can only just reinvest it back into the house." And I was like, "But who's going to know?" I was like, "No, you cannot." And then even if you go, and so this is a weird one.
Okay, I understand. I think so. It's because you made a profit of your investment. So if you use this for another investment, like buying a house, then you don't pay any tax. But otherwise, you have to pay a profit income tax.
I don't know what exactly, but
Something
he
like
said
this.
that we cannot use it. It can be like into renovation a house, just we need to fix this, we need to fix that, and we need to save the receipts in case somebody comes and knocks on the door and says, "What did you do with that money?"
Oh yeah, indeed. You have to keep the receipts as well. Yeah.
We didn't keep
Otherwise,
any. It's been 6 years by now since we bought the house. I'm fine, I think.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think so too.
But yeah.
I think these are all used. Maybe they are used at the end of the year. You fill out your inkomstbelasting,
Oh yes.
basically the income.
It's time actually for that now.
Yeah. Well, if you do it before 31st of March, you can get in before 1st of June.
Yeah, I think it's already in May. You can get it.
No, if you do it between 1st of March and 31st of March, then the government says that you will get it before the 1st of May, the 1st of June.
Yeah.
But if you do it after March, then you will get it in July or something.
Yeah, indeed. You have that window. So if you need some money for a vacation, you know when to fill it up.
Yeah, indeed. Well,
because when money comes earlier, then you spend it.
True. Well, you get a blue letter about it anyway,
I love
to
those.
fill it. Usually, blue letters are usually something to pay. So when you
Not
receive
necessarily, no.
Not-
All the blue letters that I received, because I had a ZZP and now I have a company.
Yeah.
So many times, because as a ZZP I didn't make much,
Okay.
and then with the tax and whatever, so I used to always get a refund.
No, indeed. So the yearly income tax.
No, every 3 months for ZZP.
Every 3 months. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's different. Yeah, but
For ZZPs. Okay.
yeah,
I
it's,
don't know the details.
well, we're not gonna. This is gonna be for a different episode.
Yeah. Let's talk about the taxation and the ZZPs.
Yes, we should.
Yeah.
We definitely should.
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
And so about the housing, but buyers can also find agents by themselves. So that's also getting popular here in the Netherlands, also in Almere. I see many people are just finding buying agent. Basically, that's also very, that makes their life very easy as well, because internationals come here, they have to go through everything, they have to understand and so on. But buying agents usually help a lot. Of course, they have a fee that people have to pay.
Yeah.
But I think the value what you're getting from it is quite considerably good, because then, but first of all, you can speak English to the buying agent, so that really helps a lot, because otherwise you have to always do it in Dutch. I mean, you can, when you're looking house by yourself, you can still try to find in English, but you have limited options. With the buying agent, you get an agent who speaks in your language, or maybe you can find the agent who lives here for a long time, but speaks your own language as well as an international. That's better even.
Another reason to have they're called Aankoopmakelaars, right? Another reason, because the market is so busy and so competitive. Actually, having Aankoopmakelaar, you have a little bit of advantage, because they get to have to see the listings before they come on Funda, before they come in on the websites that are available for everybody to see. So actually, you have a little bit of a priority.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Indeed, many people. I think one of my friends found a house that wasn't even in the Funda, but they found it through the buyer agent.
Yeah.
Because there is a communication between the agents, and then they know, as you said, before it comes to the listing, people can buy it. So there are lots of advantages, and they also, collect all the documents that is needed from you. So when they're doing so they really like a proxy. So you don't have to deal with anything. So they just collect all the houses that you will, based on your preference, show you whether you're interested or not, whether you are willing to bid, and they do the bidding, and then they come back to you and then see how it goes. So there is a value. And when I was looking for a house, I didn't go through the buyer agent, but I didn't spend too much time. Like some people are looking for a house like 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, to up to a year as well. So for my case, it wasn't like this. But I would, if it exceeded certain amount of time, I would just go to the buyer agent as well, because it would be much easier.
We should invite a makelar here to have a conversation. I know somebody that might be willing to come in and have a conversation with us about what's happening in the market, in the local market. She's a makelar here in Almere.
Okay.
So
let's do this. So we can get more insights from their side as well. What's happening on the real estate side, because we also. I mean, you're seeing it from the seller side. I'm seeing from the buyer side, for instance.
And a buyer too,
Yeah, and a buyer too, And then we can see from their side as well. That would be interesting. And so that's usually, the bidding goes. And then if you win the bidding, then basically there is a process. So indeed, house inspection needs to come house, that you do it before the bidding usually. And when the bidding is happened, then there is a process of legally buying the house, right? So you make an appointment from the notary. And so how it goes here is that if you need, for instance, if you have a certain amount of money, that's fine. But if you still need to go to a bank for the mortgage, then after the signing contract, of course, then you go to the mortgage with all your equipments and the documents, and then you ask for a mortgage, and then you wait for it. So, and then in the meantime, you get a notary appointment. So the mortgage has to be closed before the notary, of course, and otherwise you lose your deposit that you give, and you cannot buy the house either. So it's really risky. So then, basically, when you go to notary, there is a certain amount of taxes you have to pay to the government and also the notary. Now, I think, if I remember correctly, it was like 8% of the house.
I don't remember how it was for us, but I remember.
So 2%, sorry.
Yeah. Another thing what I remember is that I know in the past, I don't know if it's like that. I think as a first-time buyer, you can get the notary money as part of the mortgage. You get this like extra. Because I remember my husband told that when he was buying his first house, the notary fee, I don't know, it was like 15,000-20,000 or something. He actually received that, so he didn't have to put anything out from his personal pocket.
Nice.
But when we were buying the house together, we actually had to pay like 12 or 15,000 euros from our own pocket, because the mortgage, or they just canceled that, or you cannot get it at all, or I don't remember what it was. But we had to pay, that had to be paid from our own pocket. It was not included.
Yeah, that's right. I had to pay like 12, I think, in total. And so I think it was 2% by the time that you pay as a tax. It's called transfer tax. So it's basically they are transferring your money from one account to another, but you're just paying it.
Yeah, for the service.
So
You take a little trolley and moving it here, 5,000
I would have
euros.
carried it, so instead of paying that amount of money. But there is no. So recently, I think it was 2023 or something, government changed the law. So if you are younger than 35 years old, and if you are buying your first house, then you don't pay this transfer tax.
Yeah, there are some perks for
Yes,
buying a first-time property. Yeah.
Indeed. So they brought it, and that was a couple of years later. I bought my house, but you cannot. It doesn't apply to you anymore because. So it was a bit painful.
Oh. What you can do.
We paid, what you can do. And then there is some notary price, fees, and everything. So it collects. So basically, what happens is that notary just has this administration. So they have access to your bank account in the mortgage, basically from the bank. And what they do is that they get the amount of the whole mortgage, the whole money, basically, from your account, and they pay the houses, the sellers actually. If seller has a mortgage or something, they first pay it to their bank account. If seller has any taxes that hasn't paid to the municipality or something, they also paid it.
Yeah.
And the remaining, they also get their fees out of it, and the remaining money goes to seller's bank account.
Yeah, it goes to escrow, and from escrow it goes to the indeed.
Yes.
That's the process.
So, and I actually find it very secure and nice, to be honest, because there is always even when you go to notary, for instance, in my country, before they also do the same. Right now, the notary gets the money and then they arrange it. But before it was like you go to notary to buy as a buyer and seller, and notary asks you. Of course, there's a camera and something, but they ask to the buyer whether they transfer the money to the seller, and they ask also the seller whether they receive the money right at that moment.
Okay.
But there is always a trust issue because that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So as a buyer, if you transfer that amount of money to the seller just before the notary appointment, there is always a risk of seller saying that, yes, indeed, I gave up or something, other way around as well.
Yeah.
The seller can say, okay, let's go to notary first, let's sign it, but then if the buyer doesn't pay it. So that's always, this tension was always there. It never happened to me or my friends, but I have heard a couple of news like this. Of course, there's always edge cases. But this system now in the Netherlands, also in Turkey, they started doing it as well, is more secure, so that you don't even see the money, basically. Just bank sends it to the notary, and then they sell it, give it to the seller, and then you just get a bill from your bank to pay the next mortgage.
Yeah, indeed. And then in the end, you get a bottle of champagne or a bottle of Prosecco or something, some kind of bottle of something that says like, yay, you have a house.
Indeed. There's usually a gift.
Yes.
So that was nice. And the moment that you sign it, of course, then you get the keys. And from that moment, you own the house.
Yeah.
And also, notary always asks that whether there is an insurance, house insurance, that's covering. So that's important, because if you don't have any insurance, that's when you buy the house, and that's very risky. So
the mortgage insurance.
Indeed. True, because of the mortgage. And also notary just definitely asks this. You have to have the insurance, otherwise they can even stop. They can just tell you that it's going to be risky. So it's better to make the insurance earlier, but you can start it from the day of notary, the date of signature, starting from there, so that when you own the house, it has to be secured, insured.
Yeah.
We'll
do an episode on insurance as well.
Yeah.
So we have taxation, we have insurance, we actually should bring a hypotheker.
Yes.
A person that you get a mortgage via, because it's not
mortgage advisors are quite...
mortgage advisors, usually you get your mortgages via the advisors and not necessarily in the banks themselves. So they're like companies for do that. And we're bringing Makelaar, so we have a full thing. And shall we wrap it up?
Indeed. Yeah. I think that mortgage advisor could be really interesting indeed, because when you go to the bank, also bank asks you to find a mortgage advisor. If you don't have one, they assigned you one of the mortgage advisors they work with.
It's not directly with the bank.
Yeah. So
Okay.
that's basically how you buy the house. If you want, we can also quickly talk about the Almere, the building your own house in Oosterwold and so on.
Yeah, we can. Do we still have time?
Yes, I think a couple of more minutes.
Okay, great.
Then, so here in Almere there is an option also in Oosterwold that you can buy your own house.
In Almere Hout.
In Almere Hout,
It's
yeah.
a newest neighborhood that it's indeed you can buy a plot
Yes.
and buy your own.
There are lots available, so not always, but municipality sometimes brings some lots available. So there is the prices. There is a certain prices per lot, per square meter of the lot that you can buy. You can buy your own lot, but you can also buy a common or shared lot as well. So bigger lots. There are building companies who sell those kind of things. So if you, for instance, you're a group of people, you want to
A commune.
build indeed a complex, house complex, 2 hours, 3 hours, 5 hours, 10 houses, I don't know.
Ah, it's like connected houses that we have now.
Yes,
Yeah.
or they create like a housing, but there is a playground, there's a car parking area, so everything like a pool or something. They can also do this. So you like a cooperative house creation, right? So
It's like Melrose Place
yeah.
to the older generation.
Okay.
Have you seen the show now?
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
Melrose Place, it was this very popular TV show, like Beverly Hills Nine.
Yeah.
Like, so it's the same.
Okay.
And they were living on this house that was like, this like round house with the
Yes.
pool in the middle. And of course, it was in LA. It was very fancy, and so it's not. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, swimming pool here in Netherlands doesn't really make sense, but probably it's just like how to say it, just for decoration.
Yeah.
This kind of things. So people, I know many people also do this. They buy common ground and then they share it.
Yeah.
So, and what happens is that usually, people who have kids, for instance, they buy together because when you want to buy a lot, shared lot, you also see other families, whether they have kids, how the what's the average age in the family as well. What happens is, for let's say 10 different family with small children, they buy this big lot and then building company builds it, and then they go together and there is a common shared the playground for the kids, and they just grow together.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, I think it's very beneficial. So yeah, that's also one of the options I think makes Almere unique. I think you told me in one of the episodes that one of the cities are taking as an example from Almere.
Yeah, in Utrecht.
Right?
Yeah, in Utrecht they're gonna build some kind of this kind of neighborhood.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, Almere is very unique in that sense as well.
I met somebody on Friday drinks that we had.
Yeah.
There was somebody that he lived all his life in Haarlem, and about a few years ago he bought in Oosterwold a plot.
Okay.
And they built a house, and he's still in a grace period of getting used to Almere, because after living most of his life in Haarlem and the beautiful Haarlem and everything, it's very historical. Almere is very different.
Yes.
And he finds it a little bit challenging still.
Yeah.
And I said, well, why did you then come here? And he said, well, for the price of the lot plus the house that we built, we couldn't even afford to buy a house in Haarlem.
Wow, imagine that.
So they decided, so something to think about.
Come to Almere,
yes.
I would say.
We are growing.
Yes, we are growing, and we are happy with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we can wrap it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there anything else you would like to add?
No.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, there's always something to add, but...
For the next episode.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then we will see each other in the next episode.
Yeah, great.
Yes.
Tot ziens.
Tot ziens.